you, what up? Welcome to my channel, welcome back, I'm Maryam, and in today's Faves X Fails for the month of October, filmed in November, I have prepared this look that you see on my face using all of my favorite products for the month, but not the ones that did not work for me. As always in these videos, I talk about the products, the price points, I talk about the textures, the finishes, the colors, everything, all the details, and I apply all of these products that I love onto my face while also mentioning my fails, the products that did not work for me, and tell you why they did not work for me. So this is your roundup video that you can grab a snack, grab a coffee, perhaps a glass of wine, sit back, relax, enjoy, and take notes. With that said, you guys, remember to subscribe if you aren't already, hit that notification bell, subscription button if you aren't subscribed already, Wednesdays and Sundays videos. All the products are linked and listed down below as always and per usual. And now let's get into this video. Faves X Fails for the month of October. We have a lot of faves this month, you guys. I'm happy. This is a good month. Let's hit it. Alrighty, so this month I have tried two different primers, the Huda Beauty Glowish Blur Jam and also the EXA Splash Zone Oil-Free Hydrating Primer. One of them I liked slightly more than the other, although they are a similar price point. The Huda Beauty is $33, the EXA is $34. Both are clean primers. This one is silicone free. This one is a hydrating type of primer, so they kind of do different things, but one of them, I'm just gonna say it, I like this one more because it works better for my oily AF acne-prone textured skin. So this is what I'm going to use today because this is my fave for the month. Not to say that this is a fail, but I just prefer this for me. I also think this one looks kind of cool. It looks like something edible in the jar, so that's always fun to play around with. And I like that it feels very, very cooling on the face. Oh, it feels so nice on my lids. Oh, probably look a little bit puffy right now. That's because I didn't really sleep very well last night. I actually woke up this morning from a terrifying nightmare and then I couldn't go back to sleep, of course. So here I am right now. But now suddenly with this primer, I feel like I look a little bit better. It definitely reawakened my whole entire face, not just my skin. And also I feel like my foundation applies so much better on top of this primer than it does on something that is hydrating, just because I prefer my skincare to be hydrating and then I like to apply a primer on top of that. So I don't know if I necessarily need a hydrating primer in my life, but if you're not like me, if you have dry skin, then you will probably benefit from something like this because it's not bad, it's just not my flavor. Alrighty, in the foundation category, this month I have two favorites. First, I have a favorite BB cream from Dr. JART. This one is $44. It is called the BB Premium Beauty Balm Multitasker with Niacinamide. It has SPF 40. It has mineral, not chemical SPF, which I appreciate. And basically, this gives you a breathable, buildable type of coverage, but it actually looks like skin and it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. I did use this recently and I enjoyed it. Even though this is a dewy type of formula and I'm oily, so oily skin and dewy finishes don't necessarily go well, but in this case it did. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And then also in the foundation category, this is probably my #1 slot. I absolutely love the Haus Labs Triclone, not Tricyclone, Triclone Skin Tech Foundation by Lady Gaga. This one is really surprisingly very nice. Also on the pricey side at $45. The shade that I'm wearing is not a perfect match. It's a little bit lighter than my current skin tone. I am using 260 light medium cool, but cool is actually an olive undertone in the Haus Labs, so keep that in mind. But I think I might need to get something a little bit deeper just so that it can match my forehead a little bit better and just the rest of me. Like, this looks really good on my face as a match right now, but if I'm actually going out and if my chest or my shoulders are exposed, it looks like my face doesn't match my body. So that's why I'm thinking I need to get my hands on a couple more shades just so that everything can be in unison. But the coverage here is really great. Also, this is something that can give you up to full coverage or it can be sheared down to a medium. Really love how lightweight it feels, how easily it glides. I like that it is very perfecting and very smoothing on the skin, not texture enhancing whatsoever. It wears very well. There's like 50 shades. So I'm kind of here for the Haus Labs rebranding. I like what they've been doing, even though somehow I am not getting their PR packages anymore. I don't know why. Because before the pandemic, Haus Labs was the last brand that I went to on a brand trip with, and I met Lady Gaga in Miami. So I'm not sure if they just stopped sending PR altogether or what's going on over there. But this is a foundation that I actually had to buy on my own, which isn't typical on my channel because I've been doing this for a long time and I am on pretty much every single PR list. But if curious souls want to know, now you know. Alrighty, so fresh and so clean. I really love this one. All right, I think I'm ready to talk about a fail in the foundation category. I am going to ceremoniously award this month's failed foundation to HOCUS Skin Revealer Foundation. This is not my first time trying this foundation. However, I retested it this month because I actually forgot whether I had liked it the first time or not. So it's not like a new product, but this is a product that I just absolutely cannot get behind. Of course, I got rid of it. I don't even have it around to show you what it looks like, but I will pop it up. This is it. Sadly, this is a product that is just not meant for my skin. This is one of those foundations that just never fully sets. It just stays looking kind of wet and kind of greasy on my skin. And because my skin is oily, it's just a no-go. It's not a match for me. Also at $42, I guess I'm expecting more out of a product. Like if it's a dewy product, I still want it to not feel heavy. If it's a medium coverage product, I still want it to look natural. But this is a foundation that felt very heavy and looked kind of unnatural, so did not work for me. Let's move on to some things that we do like. Actually, nothing new in the concealer category. I'm just gonna reach for a concealer that I've been using lately, which I swear I packed it in here. My Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. Not a new product again. An oldie but a goodie. Something that I've been reaching for a lot lately. And something that I'm gonna continue reaching for because it's good. Shade that I'm using is 6.25 Good Vibes. Has a little bit of a peachy orangey undertone. I like that for the under eye. I like it for brightening. I'm not gonna go crazy today. I'm just gonna add a little bit of strategic concealing. All right, I'm gonna quickly set my under eye with my Laura Mercier Tone Up Rose. A longtime fave at this point, specifically for setting the under eye and for brightening. But then I wanna quickly talk about, maybe not so quickly, I want to talk about a powder this month that I did not love from Haus Labs. So as much as I loved the Triclone Foundation, I absolutely did not love the Haus Labs Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. This, for some reason, just did not work with this foundation, which is really surprising to me because generally speaking, products from the same brand are formulated to work well together. This was not a match. As light and as natural as this foundation looked upon my initial first application, this totally transformed it into a hot mess. This powder made the foundation seem very heavy and very cakey. It actually felt like weight on my skin, and I did not like that feeling whatsoever. So this is a $38 talc-free powder. But just because it's talc-free does not mean that it's great. I know a lot of people are not into talc, and I hear you, but I think when you eliminate an ingredient that might be questionable or whatnot, or controversial, you still have to make an effort to make the product work for everybody. I feel like a lot of the talc-free powders that I've tried lately have just not delivered. They are just missing something, and I don't mean that literally, I mean that kind of figuratively, but they just do not hit the mark. So this did not hit the mark for me. I did not like the combo. Moreover, I didn't like this powder on its own with other products, so this was a very obvious big fail with a capital F. I do, however, have a new favorite inexpensive powder foundation for the month, and it is Essence 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation. This one is $5, you guys. I think it's right now on sale for $4.20 or something like that. This powder in the shade Macadamia is super beautiful. So this actually comes with an included sponge, but to me, I find that the sponge picks up way too much product and it becomes just a little bit too opaque opaque, and because this shade 10 Macadamia is kind of on the light side, you want to be careful with how much powder you actually apply. So I like to use a big old brush, this one from Refer, that I have a love-hate relationship with, because although it's big and I love the size, it sheds like crazy and I don't love that. So what I like to do with this is basically set my entire face, except for the center part of the face, because to me this is just a little bit too matte and a little bit too pigmented for the center of the face, where I have my freckles, where I'd like to not apply too much product. So the center of the face stays bare, but the rest of the face basically gets pressed with this powder foundation. This actually reminds me of the Bare Minerals Bare Pro powder foundation, in the sense that they are both very opaque, but look at the color difference. This is the color that I normally use for a pressed powder foundation, and this is the color that I'm working with here. So what's good is that you could definitely sparingly apply this on and sheer it out, or of course you could stamp it on. You just have to have the exact shade match. But what I love about this is how inexpensive it is. I love how long lasting it is. It doesn't add any extra texture onto my skin. In fact, it is very mattifying and very perfecting in like the most natural sense of the word. I really like this one. $5, you guys. $5. And by the way, this is also talc free, just saying. All right, let's move on to some blushes. This month, I am loving the new Huda Beauty Glowish blushes, the new shade edition, specifically the shade Sassy Saffron. This one is so pretty and it's so perfect for fall. It's got the perfect amount of coral orange to that spicy pumpkin, if you will. And I just think it is a gorgeous, stunning shade. Great, great, great formulation. Love the packaging. Love the fact that it's a clean formula. I've been using this one every day since I got it. This has been my go-to blush for fall. And the brush that I'm using now is the Sigma X Alice in Wonderland. Look how pretty that blush is. $21. Super cute packaging. I'm a fan, and I've always been a fan. Similarly, I also really love the blush from the new NATASHA DENONA My Dream Cheek Palette. This is actually a cheek trio with a blush, a glow cream base, and also a powder highlighter. So 2 highlighters and 1 blush. This blush is said to be a cream blush, but it applies kind of like a powder, or like a cream slash powder hybrid. Very, very unique formula, but a very flexible formula. It works over powder, it works under powder, on top of foundation, in multiple different ways. So I think it is very versatile. And for that, even though this is a pricey palette at $48, I think it's unique. I've been liking it. Though I can't say I've been reaching for it as much as I've been reaching for this Glowish. This is just like my winning formula. Alrighty, let's move on to the bronzer category, which I actually don't have anything new in the bronzer category, so I'm gonna go for my one size made for shade bronzing trio. Big old brush from Morphe M402. God, I hate brushes that shed. Just gonna round out my forehead a little bit, add a little bit more dimension. And there you have it. Alrighty, brow category. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably already know what I'm gonna say about the brow category. So let me save you your breath or thought. I have a hard time finding products that I like in the brow category, which is why my brows are already done for this video, because I keep using the same thing. I'm very particular about brows. I really like them to be a certain way, so it's hard for me to be satisfied. So naturally, I always have a lot of fails in the brow category. This month, I am not loving the Nova Beauty, aka Fashion Nova's makeup line, Slim Line Brow Pencil. Although this isn't a terrible eyebrow pencil, and also it's not terribly expensive at only $10, I found it to be a little bit too waxy for my liking. I also noticed that the actual brow product would crumble as I would try to fill in my brows. The shades are pretty good, but it's not a perfect brow pencil. I'm not even someone who likes brow pencils, but I've obviously encountered better. This just isn't up my alley. I don't know if you guys have tried this. I don't know what you guys think about Fashion Nova Beauty or Nova Beauty. I actually don't know much about them. I have never purchased a single thing from Fashion Nova. This is not a brand that I actively follow, but if you guys have any thoughts or opinions on this one, sound off below. All right, so now on to the fun category, in which this month I have no fails, only faves. This is an amazing month for eyeshadow palettes. I am loving so many different eyeshadow palettes, starting with ColourPop X Hocus Pocus 2. This was not a love at first sight, let me be frank. I'm not a huge fan of colorful backgrounds for eyeshadow palettes. I feel like it always throws off my eye. I don't really understand what is the color story here. And obviously with the green background, I'm thinking that the color story is more green than it is. And in fact, there are actually only 3 shades in here, and they're different. There's a metallic, there's a matte with sparkles, and then there's just a flat, deep matte in the green. And then the rest of the colors are kind of all over the place. There's a lot of purples and cooler tones, some shimmery lavenders and like dusty purples. There's a beautiful, beautiful black in here, and also some neutral wearable shades, some like rusty, orangey types of shades. And to me, this felt very cohesive. This actually felt very much like the Sanderson sisters. This felt like Hocus Pocus, and it also felt very Halloween, very spooky season appropriate. This is only a $24 eyeshadow palette. I actually kept the ColourPop original collab with Hocus Pocus because I love that palette so much. And this year, I am loving this one. I feel like they did a really great job. So if you love Hocus Pocus, if you love makeup, this might be the palette for you. Next, in the slightly luxury category, I gotta say I love the NATASHA Denona My Dream palette. Are we seriously hunking for that long? So like I was saying, in the entry-level luxe category, I am loving NATASHA Denona's My Dream palette, the eyeshadow palette specifically, with these 15 very fall-appropriate shades. We have mattes, we have shimmery shades, we have metallic shades, we even have a duochrome or perhaps a triochrome. But this is a palette that feels a little bit more demure than, say, other fall glam palettes. This is different because it has more wine tones than it has orangey tones. And even the neutrals in this palette lean a little bit more mauvey, a little bit more grungy. So the color story here is something different for fall, but it feels very cohesive, and obviously the quality is amazing. So I like this one. I've dipped into it a bunch of times, and it's on my list of faves for the month. But the #1 palette for the month is MCGRATH Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana Holiday Palette. Ta-da! Look how beautiful she is. As someone who is a lover of bright colors, someone who prefers color over neutrals, this palette speaks directly to me. So in this one, we have a nice black background, so I can appreciate all the colors, and I can clearly see what Mother Pat was intending with this one. There's lots of different finishes. There's matte formulas, there's metallic, there's sparkly shades. There's even these very unique wet finish types of shades, these two. And although this is a palette that I initially fell in love with from just seeing it on social media, my expectations were so high that when I opened it, I was a little bit disappointed because it didn't look as beautiful. I guess it wasn't as photogenic in person, but once I tried it on and once I was able to swatch all of these shades, I realized that this is an absolute must-have for the holiday season or for any season, because these colors, let's face it, they're not necessarily holiday screaming. They're just like screaming to whoever can put them to good use, which I think is me. I think I'm this person. I am definitely the demographic that this palette was aiming at. So this is what I'm gonna test out today in a different way than how I applied it in my review video. I think today I'm just gonna go for something very, very simple. Ooh, my lids are creased. I'm gonna use my Fenty eyeshadow base primer. I'm gonna blend it out. And now I'm thinking, I actually want to do something neutral with this palette, just because I did something so super vibrant the last time that I filmed this, that today I want to show a totally different side of this palette. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach into this neutral shade here, Desert Divinity. I'm going to extend my outer lash line and lift it up, sort of in a wing, but like a very thick wing. I'm going to use a clean little brush and just blur out the edges ever so slightly. So it's like a soft wing, almost like a shadow. Next, I'm gonna dip my finger into this metallic shimmery shade here. This one is called Guilty Opulence. I'm gonna apply this all over the movable part of my lid, blending in with this tail and slightly past the crease. This shade is very unique too. It kind of reminds me of Antique Gold in the sense that it has a little bit of that green undertone, a little bit of that dirtiness, which makes it so like antique-y and so cool. And then once more, I'm gonna go back to the brown shade and just re-emphasize the corner, and like that. And then I'm gonna dip into this gold shade over here. This one might be my favorite new gold. It's actually called Golden Angelica. I'm gonna dip that into the inner corner and then kind of just spread it with my pinky for much needed pop. This definitely brightens and awakes the eyes. And then one final thing I'm gonna do, same pinky, I'm gonna dip into this sparkly shade. This one is Bronze Infatuation, and it definitely does look a little bit more brown or a little bit more bronzy. But what I specifically like about this shade is the sparkle factor. This has a lot of sparkles that I want to add onto the center and outer third of the lid, kind of like that. And that's it for the palette. But I really do love this one. There isn't really a MCGRATH eyeshadow palette that I don't like, though I have my favorites. And I can't say that every color story is a story that I'm interested in, but this one is definitely up my alley. All right, so now that I have talked about all that, I do want to mention a couple of eyeliners that I've actually been loving this month. So I talked a lot of crap about Fashion Nova's Nova Beauty brow pencils. I can't say the same thing about their gel liners. Their eyeliners are actually surprisingly really good. Great quality, really easy to use. They have this easy glide gel type formulation that you can create very precise lines with, or you can blend it out for like a softer, more smoked out look. I'm gonna grab this shade On My Way, and it's like a bronzy brown. And I'm just gonna run this through my lashes and just specifically darken the outer lash line without winging it out. I'm just adding a little bit of a frame around the eye, just a little bit of darkness, just to kind of like lift this corner and to darken it a pinch. It's so easy to use that you don't even need to blend it out with the brush. You can actually blend it out with the pencil itself. It applies very easily on top of your eyeshadow without dragging your skin. So that's a plus, and it comes in a multitude of different shades. I have another fave in the eyeliner category, and it is from Half Magic. This guy right here, the Magic Flick Liquid Eyeliner. What I love about this one is its super unique blade-like shape. Look how thin it is, and then look how wide it is once I turn it. This kind of allows you to create very artistic, creative types of lines. I don't actually think I have the need for a black liquid liner today for this specific look, but I do want to show you how easy to use it is. So I'm gonna draw a couple of twiggies just to show you how cool and precise. I'm not even sure if you guys can see that, but this definitely is up my alley. Another one of those products that's smart, that's innovative. This type of shape for a felt tip marker makes it really easy to get in between your lashes, to get like the deepest, the darkest, the most precise cat eye ever. And I think it makes it easy not just for a novice, but also for someone who's very well familiar and very comfortable with lining their eyes, creating different liner looks. So I like the flexibility on this. I like the fact that every possible user of liner was thought of. Alrighty, I do want to talk about some mascaras. So for that, I'm gonna go ahead and reach for a lash curler. This one is from Refer. I still love my Laura Mercier. That one's just in my other room, but this one now resides in this room. Curl my lashes so that I can talk about my new favorite mascara, which just happens to be from BIRDY Lashes by my girl Yasmin, aka Beauty Bird. She has created a fantastic mascara. This is my new favorite mascara. It makes the lashes so dramatically different and better looking. This is a 2-in-1 product. So there's 2 different wands, a wand for the top lashes and also a super tiny precise wand for the lower lashes. Look how cute and little it is. Now this is not an innovation that I have not seen before. I have seen this before, but let me just talk about the formula of this as I apply. Not only is this waterproof, so it works for every single lash type, including mine, but also what I love about this is how quickly this liquid dries. But because it's liquid, it really allows you to be super precise with application. It allows you to really get in there and coat every single lash from root to tip if you want. Also, it's not a heavy mascara, so it won't weigh down your lashes, especially if you have straight Asian lashes like me. This will work for you, not against you. So this is just one coat. You can see that it is working very quickly. Also, this is a formula that is very thickening, so it makes your lashes look longer and just bigger. So once the initial layer dries down, and it dries down pretty quickly, you can easily go over and apply a second layer to really build up the lash. This is where the magic happens. And what's also super cool about this mascara, I know it sounds like I'm being paid to say all this, but like really, this is just an amazing, amazing product. I am not paid to advertise it. I'm not paid to talk about it. I'm just simply enjoying what this has done for me. So like I was saying, another thing that I really love is that when at the end of the day, you go to wash off your makeup, this product comes off your lashes like little tubes, like little pellets. So that tells me that this is coating my entire lash, like the entire width of my actual lash. And you don't need any like crazy special removers, just your regular eye makeup remover works perfectly. I am just obsessed. I feel like this mascara makes my lashes so much more flared and so different from the shape that I usually get with mascaras. And I mean, I know you probably can't appreciate this as much on me as you would on a person with already naturally long lashes, but this to me looks pretty dramatic and it looks pretty different. So I am a big fan. I'm gonna add a little bit of the lower lash mascara onto my lower lashes. Nothing too crazy, just like a hint. I always feel that lower lash mascara makes my face look more dressed up than I want it to be. It's always leaning in the glam category, but today I just really want this look to be wearable. This is it. This is the eyes. Kind of obsessed. All right, I almost forgot to mention a fail in the lash / liner category, and it's a product that I actually really liked initially. I am talking about the NYX liner lash combo. I don't have the lashes, but this does come with the false lash, and this is a kit. It's a $20 kit, so not the cheapest that you've seen from NYX, but for $20, you would expect this to last more than like one wear. Unfortunately, as much as I love this product the first time, the second time it just did not work very well at all. So let me retract and let me just like tell you what I did. So the first time that I tried this is basically a liquid liner / lash adhesive, and it comes with false lashes. The first time that I tried this was on camera, and I was surprised at how this felt more like liner than glue. Though it did feel sticky and you did need 2 coats, and the lashes did initially stick very well to this liner. The second time that I went to use this product and the lashes that came with it, it was just a no-go. The lashes were not sticking at all. I'm not sure if it was the lash or the liner. I actually kept the liner, and obviously I got rid of the lash because this happened while I was out and my lash was like totally exposing me. It was like completely coming off of my eye, and my best friend told me that I just need to remove them so I could stop looking silly. So basically that's what happened, and this is why I'm just like disappointed in this product, because I liked it initially, but it failed on me. It literally failed on me. I did not fail on it, period. All right, I'm getting carried away, but you get the story. Let's move on to some faves in the lip category. This month I am loving my Makeup Forever lip liners. I've loved them for a long time, but I feel like they have new shades, so these new shades I'm loving. Lip liners are $22. They come in a multitude of different shades, from rust to brown to nude. And today I am thinking I'm gonna go for a little nude. I'm gonna use the shade Wherever Walnut. I'm gonna line my lips, which are not lined today, by the way, but I do have my contouring hack using self-tanner, which I kind of forgot about and I stopped using it for a while. But now I'm back at it and I'm loving it. Lip liner is on. Let's talk about some favorite lipsticks. Similarly, I'm really loving the new Makeup Forever Rouge Artist Forever Matte Liquid Lipsticks. I really like the shade Always Natural. Toffee at All Hours. This one is one of my favorite fall shades. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Favorite fall lipsticks for 2022. And I also really like the shade Immortal Rosewood. This is a little much for what I'm going for today. This is like a little bit more up my alley. But actually, in fact, I want to talk about my all-time favorite lipstick for the month of October, which happens to be a pricey one. You already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the new Dior Rouge Matte Lipstick. This one right here for $42. I gotta say, this shade 200 is like my ultimate new favorite nude. It is just so right. It is so flattering. It is so fall appropriate that I couldn't not bring it up again. Specifically, what I love about this lipstick and this lipstick formula, outside of the color, is how well it wears, how comfortable it feels on the lips, yet it fully sets to a non-transferable pout, yet it comes in a traditional lipstick tube, which is very innovative. It's new, and I love that. I love that it feels like I'm not really wearing anything on my lips, but I can easily reapply if I want to. I can easily remove this if I want to. So I'm a big fan of this formula. I really, really like this color, and I'm gonna continue reaching for it and using it because it is just that good. One final product that I want to talk about in the faves category is a highlighter palette from Pop Beauty. This is an inexpensive highlighter palette. I don't actually remember the price off the top of my head, but I will pop it up. And the shade of this palette is called Better Bear, not Better Babe that I said in my previous video, Better Bear. And I like the fact that there are 4 different shades for 4 different skin tones. All of these are very flattering, very, very wearable, and just the formula is very forgiving. It is very sheer, but buildable, so you can have a blinding highlight, or you can just sheer it out for something a little bit more easygoing. I'm gonna go for this shade here. Notice my brush. This is my original Pixie X Maryam Maquillage collab brush from my first collab with Pixie. Look how blinding that is at first swipe. You can leave it like that, of course, if you want to, or you could tone it down, just like a little bit of powder on top. But to me, this is a great find. I've been reaching for it a lot because I actually have not seen too many new highlighter innovations. I haven't seen too many new highlighter launches. I feel like everything has felt very done to me. Although this is not necessarily a new product, it is new to me. I have not tried it before and I really like it, so I thought I'd share it. Anyway, I believe this wraps up this Faves X Fails video for the month of October. This is the look that I came up with using all of my faves, but not my fails. What do you guys think? What do we think? Overall, I think my complexion is looking really natural, but really clean. Perfected, if you will. Just definitely up to my standards. I really like the blush, I really like the highlighter. Everything is blending well together, it's working together. I love my eye look. It is so simple but effective, perfect for every day, or even for night, because it does have like a little bit of bling, a little bit of sparkle, if you will. I love the lips, I love the color, I love the formula. Basically, I love everything because everything has been up to my liking this month. Yes, I've had some fails, but they weren't terrible fails. They weren't like throw in the garbage type of fails. I feel like a lot of these, outside of the liner and lash combo, just did not work for me because of my skin type or because of my preference. But I have a feeling that with some of these products, there's a wider audience for it than just myself. So with that said, I am going to wrap up this video. I want to wish you guys a farewell. I will see you in the next one. Zooming on out, peacing out, and I'm out. Peace out, you guys.